Hey guys, I hope that I'm live right now. If you guys are able to listen to me properly as well as there's no problem with my audio or the video, please do let me know. If there is any problem with my audio or the video, please do let me know, guys. I waited for 5 minutes so to see as if more people are joining us or not. That's the reason why I told that we will be starting from 7:05. Okay, there's no problem with the audio or the video. Okay, great. Amazing, amazing. So today we will be focusing upon a bit more in CSS. Okay, we will be focusing upon the selectors and everything. Tomorrow again we'll be having CSS. We'll be looking at margin, paddings, and all those advanced property, grid and box layouts, floats. We'll be focusing upon that, and then day after tomorrow on the 8th day we'll be having our project. That is what I have planned for right now, so that I'm able to make you guys understand the concepts in a much more deeper sense. Okay. So can you explain yesterday's default CSS? Sure, yes. We will be like when we'll be starting with CSS, I'll first I have one more part in which I will show you the default CSS, and then we'll continue from there. So it will be covered. Okay, will that be fine for you, Yesh? JavaScript I'm skipping for this particular bootcamp because I actually cross-checked with the project and there's no JavaScript involved in the project. So that is the reason why we will be focusing upon CSS a lot more in depth. So up till now you have just learned the basics. Today we will be going into the intermediate stage and tomorrow into the advanced. That is the reason why I am skipping JavaScript off from this bootcamp. The next bootcamp is on JavaScript and React.js. So we'll be covering JavaScript right over there. So no scroll bar. Scroll bar is something that is by default. Like as you're able to see, if I'm scrolling right over here, it's by default itself. You don't need to have a scroll bar in it. Okay. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Today we'll be going live. No. Tomorrow we'll be going live on Instagram again. So if some of you want to join us, you can definitely join us on Instagram live as well. Okay. Okay, one more thing, I need the email. So give me a second, guys. Is there a huge difference between JavaScript and React.js? Arun, so JavaScript is just the language, the programming language in which you will be coding. And React.js is a library, a framework for developing front-end works. So you have to learn JavaScript to use React. That is the basic thing. Okay, it's the same as, for example, if you want to hang something up, you have a hammer but you need a nail as well. You need to learn how to use a hammer and a nail. So that's the basic thing. Okay. Okay, just a second, guys. I need an form as well. I don't have it with me right now. Let me just call my colleague up and ask him for the Google form. Just give me a second for that. Up till that point of time, if you guys are having any type of questions or something like that, please let me know. I will try to answer it. I'm just waiting for 1 or 2 minutes so that everyone is able to join us. Ashish? Yeah, I need the form of the Google form that's going to be circulated tonight on all the WhatsApp groups for the pre-registration. Pre-registration of the program. The Google form that's going to be circulated along like the one that I sent you on Telegram. Yeah. So I think so I have the Google form with me. Let me just check up. Okay, so I have the Google form with me. Okay, so any questions that you guys are having, please let me know. I will be waiting for 2 more minutes so that everyone is able to join us, and then we'll be starting off with our today's class. If you guys are having any questions, please let me know. If you guys are having any particular questions, please let me know. I have the Google form with me as well. Okay. Uh, okay. So the question is, so what do you think about internshala trainings? Are the certificates any worthy? Will they help us get any internships? Any idea about it? See, let's try to understand something. How to get internships? How to get placements and internship? So, as just think about yourself. Think about if you are running a company, what would be important to you? The important thing would be whether that particular person who you are going to hire has the knowledge and the capability to make your product. Any company, especially if you are going into product based companies that are going to pay you a lot more, you would require a particular person who has the right skill sets to make a product. Now, as far as I have seen the internshala training programs, the main thing that is missing within them is it's too basic. It's something that I will expect a particular person to learn for like maybe their college or something like that, but not for internships. So when I am usually hiring students, I usually directly, so we are partnered up. See, I can explain you these things because right now I am running the hiring drives for companies like Google, Microsoft, Oracle, Goldman Sachs. I'm basically taking up their hiring drives right now, and these companies are actually hiring our students from the training and internships that we provide. So I have a basic knowledge. If like the main thing that these companies are looking forward to is your knowledge itself and your skill sets. So if you are able to develop it on your own, that's great. If you're not, yes, I would advise you to join a training program, but not internshala. That's not worth it. That is according to like my understanding. Talent is not necessary. See, there are two type of people in this world. One who are talented, and the other one is the hardworking kind. Now, those who are talented, yes, they will also have to work. Of course, they will have to practice and all, but they will eventually figure it out. But those who aren't talented, they can also achieve the right kind of success by the only thing, two things: will and their hard work. You never have to stop working hard. The day you stop working hard, you won't be able to achieve what you want to do in your life. So always remember this, like working hard is not an option that you can opt out of. You'll always have to do that. Okay? Okay, Kaustav, that's amazing. So you have joined the full stack development program. It will be great to have you on board with us. I will try to make sure that I'm able to interact with you in the class as well. Okay, I've planned it out in such a way. So usually the full stack program is like 3.5 months long. Anything below that, you are actually not learning full stack. You will be learning web development. And you don't want to do that. You want to go with full stack. Okay, so whatever program that you choose it in such a way that you don't have to buy 3 other courses to actually complete your learnings. Okay, choose a program that can put up full stack, that is MERN stack basically, and then DevOps as well as cloud computing with you. Okay. Oh, where is this form? I will just share the form with you if that's. So those who want to register for the training and internship program, you can just fill this form out. Okay, for training and someone from DevTown will be reaching out to you and they will be helping you out with the entire process. Okay. Okay, so let's start off with our today's class. I think so more than sufficient students have come up live. So let's go back to our PPT. So first, let's understand something. So, guys, whatever we have learned up till tomorrow, there's just one doubt that I was able to see. There was one particular person. I think so. His name was Yash. Yash, if you're still there in the live chat, please let me know. He had a doubt about default CSS that's already there in the website. So we will be discussing upon that. If any of you have any doubts from the previous classes, please let me know right now. So I will just incorporate it while I'm teaching. If any of you have any doubts from the previous batch, okay, from the previous classes, please let me know right now so that I will incorporate it while I'm teaching. Okay, please let me know. We can only link JavaScript to HTML. Yes, you can link other languages to HTML as well, but they won't run because your browser does not support it. Okay. So for example, if you're taking a plastic water bottle, let's take up this particular glass. You're taking a plastic glass, and if you try to pour HCl in it, it will just go like HCl is an acid. I hope that you remember it from your 12th standard. So it will just go through the entire cup. It won't hold it. You need a glass container for it. The same goes with other programming languages as well. If it is JavaScript, your browser will be able to hold it. If it is any other programming language, it will not be able to interpret what it is saying. That is the major reason. She'll always attend the lectures on time. Okay, so no issues in that. Anyway, if you guys are still having any questions, do let me know. Can I use Java for backend development? Yes, Shubhajit, you can use Java for backend development. Mostly Android applications are usually built in the backend is built in Spring Boot. Okay, Spring Boot is the framework that is used for JavaScript developers, but it is very limited. It is usually used in transactions. So that is the reason why JavaScript is the most widely adopted one. And once you have learned a language, once you have learned a framework, it becomes very easy to adopt any other frameworks as well. Only JavaScript, any other languages that can hold? Yes, Python is also a language that it can hold. But see, what happens is JavaScript is one of the lightest languages that are there. Now, when you're running something on the browser, it's actually very light. Like your browser isn't a very big application. It cannot use a lot of RAM. It cannot use a lot of CPU, GPU from your computer. So the programming languages needs to be as light as possible. Any other language that you're running will then be interpreted into JavaScript and then run back. So like it's like instead of holding your ear like this, you are actually writing your code in Python that is then getting converted into JavaScript, and then you are holding your ear the other way around. So that is not a very option. And see, what happens is it feels great to be the outlier. Okay, it feels great like everybody is doing engineering and I will do something else. Everybody is going to big companies, I will do entrepreneurship or something like that. It feels great, but that does not apply to technical stuff as well. If the entire world is working in JavaScript, you have to keep on working in JavaScript, because then only you will get placed. Okay, so let's get started right away with the class itself. Okay, so right over here from the previous classes, we have written some CSS code. If you are able to remember those code, you will be able to remember that you are having your div tag, that is the tag that you want to select. Then in curly parentheses, you are having the rule that you want to apply. Maybe you want to have text align as right, you want BG color as yellow, you want the color as red, you want the family to be maybe monotype cursive or something like that. So you want the height, you want the width, all the different rules that you want to apply, you write it within these curly brackets. So now in any technical language or any technical stuff that you're learning, you need to remember the names and the notations for the same as well. So for right now, this entire, so one piece of code, one block of CSS code for a particular tag or a particular selector is called as a rule set. Okay, this entire block of code in CSS is called as a rule set. Okay, then the next thing that you are having is the selector. So you want to select the div tag, you want to select the h1 tag, you want to select the paragraph tag, you want to select the horizontal rule tag. So whatever thing that you want to select right now, just remember I'm not using tag right over here. Whatever thing that you want to select, okay, we'll be coming back to that. Okay, that the name of that particular item, you have to put it right over here. That basically tells that okay, this is the particular thing that I want to select on the website. This is the particular thing I want to apply these changes to. Then you are having the declaration block. Inside your declaration block, there are all the rules that you want to put up. Okay, so for example, you want to change the background color, the text align, all these rules that you want to apply, that goes inside your declaration block. So please remember these names when you are using CSS or talking to any technical person as well. Use these notations, use these technical terms when talking to them. This basically tells them that okay, you actually have a strong base. Okay, so always do this. It shows a level of intellectuality as well. Okay, So we'll move on to the next thing. So we have learned the basics of CSS. Now we want to learn about class and IDs. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's go back to our website. This is the website that we were working upon right over here. Let's do one thing. Let's have some image tags. So yesterday we uploaded an image right over here and then used it. Right now what we are going to do is we are going to create an image tag. Okay, but the source we are directly going to take it from the web. So let's take something that I don't like. I don't like brinjals. So we are brinjal emoji ng. So let's take up a brinjal right over here. Let's copy so when you are doing a right click, okay, copy link address. Okay, so click on this, copy link address. Do not copy the image. Want to copy the link address of this image. Then we'll come back to our code right over here, paste the link directly here. So the link is absolutely massive, but no issues. Let's paste the link here. Let's take up the alternate text as brinjal emoji. Okay, let's save the alternate text as brinjal emoji right over here. As you are able to see, the brinjal emoji is not turning up. So the link is actually not working because it's a Google link. Let's try to go to the website and copy the link from right over here. So copy image address. Let's copy it again. Let's change the link from right over here. Let's go back. Let's try to change the link. Backspace, Control V. Let's save it. And as you are able to see, the image is turning up upon our website. So let's reload our page. And you are able to see the image right over here. But this image is massive. I don't want this image to be so huge. I want it to be like maybe 100 pixel by 100 pixel of size. So let's go back to our code. Okay, so what is the code that I have to write right over here in CSS, because I have to change the style of the image. So what CSS code should I write right over here to change the height and the width of this brinjal emoji to 100 pixel by 100 pixel? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Yes, we'll be using the height and the width attributes of the image tag. So in this code, let's go back to our code. Okay, let's go back to our CSS code. We are going to select, the selector should be the image tag. Okay, img. We are going to have the code as the height and the width. So we want to have the height as, let's say, 100 pixels and the width as, let's say, 100 pixels again. Okay, so we are going to save it right over here. Go back to our website, reload the page. As you are able to see, now there is one problem. Are you guys able to identify that problem? Even though our brinjals shrank to 100 pixel by 100 pixel, but something else also changed along with that. Can you guys identify what also changed along with the brinjal on our website? Can you guys identify what also changed in our website along with the brinjal? No, not placing. The first picture, exactly. The MDN logo also got its height changed to 100 pixel by 100 pixel. So this is the first problem with using direct tags. Okay, whenever you are using tags, you are able to identify that will be applied to all the tags that are present on your screen. So maybe we want to just change the size of the brinjal attribute. So what we can do is, instead of using the image tag, we can use a class. How do we write a class? So you have to start the selector by dot. Okay, and then the name of the class. Let's call it as the Brin class. Okay, so we are naming this as the Brin class, and then in the HTML as well, you have to identify that the class for this particular image tag. So class for this particular image tag is Brin. Okay, so you are putting up a class name to the image tag. Okay, and the same class, you have to select that particular class. So that the code for that is dot brin. The syntax for that particular selector for selecting a class is dot brin. It's just like naming a particular person. So this particular person is from the class 1A or 10th A or 12th A. So that is, I'm giving a class to that particular person. And similarly here we gave a class to the image tag dot brin. Okay, so let's go back to our website, reload the page. As you are able to see now, the brin is 100 pixel by 100 pixel, whereas the image, that is the MDN logo, is still the same. Okay, the original size. Now maybe I want to have a background color to the image as well. So I want to have a background color to the image. Let's take up as background color. Okay, and we want to check up the background color. Let's take up a caddet blue. Okay, let's take up caddet blue. Let's save it right over here. And as you're able to see on our screen as well, now the brinjal, just the brinjal, has a new background color. Maybe I don't like this like boxy sort of structure. I want to have it as a maybe a circular structure itself. So what we can do is we can use another CSS property called as border radius. Okay, border radius, let's set it to, let's say 50 pixel. Okay, not 500 pixel, 50 pixel. Okay, control S, save. Let's go back to our screen. You will be able to see that now that brinjal is encompassed into a circle itself instead of having it as a whole. Okay, so we can do the same with the image tag. Now I just want to change the image tag. Okay, the image tag, I'm setting it up to be border radius as 20 pixels. So let us take this and I set it to 20 pixels right over here. Okay, let's see one more thing. So basically the default CSS, everything has a default CSS. For example, if I'm going to the H1 tag, I'm selecting it, then clicking on inspect. Okay, I want to inspect it. So right click anywhere on the H1 tag, go to inspect. Okay, when you're coming up with inspect, you will be able to see the CSS for that H1 element on the right hand side. Now the default like attributes associated with that H1 element is right over here. So display block, font size 2 em, margin block start 0.6 em, 0.767 em, and so on and so forth. So all the default H1 properties are listed right over here. User agent style sheet. Okay, this depends from one browser to another. So for example, Chrome will have its own default CSS. You will have, like for Firefox, it will be your own default CSS. For Safari, it will be your own default CSS, and you will be able to identify it from right over here. Now when you are writing something, so this particular line of code, H1 is color is this and background color is this. This is something that you have written in your external CSS file. So whatever you have written right over here, that will precede, so like it will have a higher precedence rate over the default CSS. For example, if the font size is 2 em and I change it to 4 em, so that would be applied right over here. So whatever you are writing right over here, that will be the main CSS that will be applied to it. It will have higher precedence over the previous CSS. Now for example, the same if you are looking forward with the image tag as well. Let's inspect the image tag. Okay, so you are able to see that this particular image tag right over here has no CSS to it. The first image tag, that is the MDN logo, has no CSS to it, whereas the second logo has some CSS associated with it that is coming under Brain. Okay, now the same if I'd like to take up another thing, let's try to have an image border radius as well. Let's save it right over here, go back to our website, reload the page. Then you will be able to see for our image, that is the image for the MDN docs. Okay, we are able to have some border radius as 20 pixels. We are able to have some border radius as 20 pixels. That is for the image itself. That gets applied to both the images. But as your class has higher precedence over your HTML tag as well. So class, so the base is your default CSS, then comes your tag, then comes your class. Okay, so right over here, we are able to see that even though the image had a border radius of 20 pixels, but because it has a class associated with it as well, that is the brinjal, it's a class associated with it that has border radius as 50 pixels, so that precedes Okay, in hierarchy, it precedes the border radius 20 pixels and that is cancelled out. This is not applicable to that image right now. Are you guys able to understand this precedence? At the bottom most, you are having your default CSS, then you are having your tag CSS, then you are having your class CSS. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand that? Please let me know. Guys, there are 104 of you. Are you guys able to understand this or not? Like, I need to see like 104 yes right over here to understand whether everybody is able to be on the same page with me as of this particular moment. Very few people are writing yes, no issues in that. Okay, so that is what I'm trying to make you guys understand. Now there is a very, so let's assume this as well. So for example, I am having a third image as well. Let's see right over here. Let's put up another image tag, image. Let's have the source taken from right over here. Let's see if this offers us some more images. So let's take up this particular emoji. Let's copy the image address from right over here. Go back to our code. Let's put up our code right over here as well. And then put up an alternative text as emoji, face G. Never forget to put up alternate text. Okay, it's very important. Let's go back to our website, reload the page. So you are able to see another huge image coming up. So what we'll do is we'll put up an ID tag right over here. So ID is equals, okay, so I'm writing it in. So let's have ID. Okay, and ID will put it up as face. Okay, so we are having the face as the ID right over here. I'll be explaining you the difference between the ID and the class, but right now we are just using it. Let's save it here. Go back to our website. Now whenever you want to select an ID, okay, so what you have to do is you have to put a hash in front of it to tell CSS that this is an ID. Now the name of the ID is face, so hash face, and then I want to put up the height and the width as 100 pixels. So let's take up height and the width as 100 pixels. Let's save it right over here. Let's go back to our website, reload the page. As you are able to see, we are having the emoji at 100 pixels as well. So this is something that was pretty easy to do. But what is the main difference between the CSS and the ID? Let's try to like take up an example. Okay, where have you heard about these classes and the IDs in your real life? Okay, let's try to understand where you have heard about classes and IDs in your real life. I'm not talking about anything related to coding. Anything related to coding, guys. Anything not related to coding. I'm talking about in your real life. It's your school. In schools, you were having classes, you were having IDs, that is roll numbers that were associated with each student. Now think about it. 30 people are there in a single class. Each of them are having the same class, that is maybe 12th A. Okay, everybody, all the 30 students are having the same class as 12th A. But IDs are unique. No two student in that particular school can have the same ID. No two students can have the same roll number. Every roll number is unique, and that is the same that goes on with classes and IDs as well. So for example, if I want to have, let's say let's go back to our code. I can have all the three. So for example, even the MDN can have the same class. So let me take up the class from right over here and put it up here. So even the MDN one can have the same class as the brinjal. So BRIN, as you are able to see, both the MDN tag, MDN image, as well as the brinjal image now has the same class. But if we try to do the same with the ID face, if we try to have the ID in someplace else, so let's take up from right over here and put it up here instead of class. Let's try to save it. Go back to our website, reload it. there's no changes that is happening. Let's try to inspect it as well. Let's go to console. Okay, so as you're able to see, even though the id is face, okay, and when you're taking up the third one as well, the thing is not being applied to it. Okay, let me just remove the image img. Okay, it will give you an error. Okay, you cannot have two ids in the same like two ids having the same name. So I can change this to maybe like phase 2 or phase 3 or phase something something. I can have it anything else, but I cannot have two ids having the same name. Okay, I can have multiple ids, but no two ids should have the same name. You have to use id only once. The second thing is, for example, I can just create, so I can take up this Brin and separate it into two particular classes. So let's have one more class dot sir, and let's have like the border radius shifted there. Let's control X and control V. So we are having two classes right over here. You are having the Brin class as well as the sir class. So right over here, if I want to apply both the classes to the image tag, I can just write Brin space CIR sir, and both the classes will be applied to our image tag. Both the classes will be applied to our image tag. That is what I'm trying to make you guys understand. But this won't work in ID. I cannot have two IDs like this. I cannot have face and another ID as like phase 2 right over here. I can only have a single ID. I can have unlimited number of classes. Like if I'm having like 50 classes, I can put up 50 classes right over here, separated by spaces. But that cannot happen with IDs. There's the basic differentiation between the two. ID can be used only once. Classes are like, you can have like the h1 tag, the image tag, the paragraph tag can have the same class. 4 h1 tags, 3 p tags as well as 2 image tag can have the same class. But an ID can be unique. You can have multiple classes when you are putting up for any particular tag. You can have multiple classes that are putting up inside of it. But for ID can be only unique. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Okay, great. Amazing, guys. Amazing. Okay. So we have discussed upon classes as well as IDs. As you're able to see, always remember tags. Just put up the normal tag as selector. If you want to have a class, you want to put dot and then the name of that particular class. If you want to have ID, you are having a hash and then the name of that particular class. The rest remains the same. This is how you select the selector. Okay. Okay, so in normal world, in normal like what you are able to see around you, you measure length in like miles, you measure length in feet, you measure length in centimeters, you measure length in meters. These are your unit of measurement that you use in your daily life. But when you are developing a website, these are not actually like usable. You cannot have like, okay, so my website should have like a width of like 0.001 mile or 0.001 meters or like a 10 centimeters or something like that. You cannot use these unit of measurements for making your website. But your website shouldn't be random as well. It shouldn't be like, okay, the image is on the left hand side corner and then the text is just appearing anywhere else or so on and so forth. Everything should be in a very proper, organized and well thought out, well calculated manner. So for that, length inside of your website when you're designing websites is usually measured in terms of pixels or percentage. Okay, so your screen, any screen, whether you are using a phone, whether you are using maybe a iPad, whether you are using a TV or your laptop, any display is made up of pixels. Okay, each display. Are you guys familiar with the concept of pixels? Please let me know. I'm not talking about Google Pixel. Okay, I'm not talking about the phone. I'm talking about the concept of pixels. Like your screen is actually made up of small LEDs, very small LEDs, and each of those LEDs are called as pixels. Okay, and that is the unit of measurement that you are going to use mostly when you're dealing with websites, okay, because your website is going to be displayed on computer screens, okay, whether it be desktop, whether it be mobile, whether it be tablet, TV, anything else, okay. Similarly, the second concept that comes up is percentage, okay. So sorry for that. The second concept that comes up is percentage. We are going to learn about these concepts in a lot depth, okay, when we are going further. Right now I'm just putting it up there that pixels as well as percentage are the units of measurement that you are going to use, okay. Okay, so for example, right over here there are two type of measurements that you can do, okay. One is the absolute measurement. So for example, this road is 8 meters wide, okay. This road is 8 meters wide. That's an absolute measurement. I'm giving you the exact measurement that you need. The second is the relative measurement. Okay, so this road is 2 cars wide, okay, or this road is like 200% of the width of a particular car, okay, that is 2 cars wide, okay. Or a car is 50% or the width of the car is 50% the width of the road, okay. So these are all relative measurements. It's relative on the basis of the car, the model of the car. Maybe it's a truck, so the measurements would change according to that. Maybe the road is a single chartered road, maybe the road is a road for an airline or something like for that. So everything is very relative right over here. You don't know the exact measurement neither for the car nor for the road. It will depend from the model to model. So that is called as relative measurements. These are the two kinds of measurements that you are going to use to create your website. So let's look at some absolute as well as relative measurements. The basic absolute measurement that you are going to use is the pixels, okay. We are going to look at some more as well. As you are able to see, there's a lot more that are there. So pixels are basically one of the most basic absolute measurements that are there. So for example, if I'm going back to my website, if you remember correctly, we have put up for Brin. So let's remove all the other. Let's just keep a Brin right over here. So we'll keep this. We'll remove the first one. So we'll just comment it out. We'll remove the second one as well. So we'll just comment this out as well. So right over here, we are just having one image on our screen right now that has the class of Brin and Sir. That basically gives it's a circular shape. Now, if you remember it correctly, in the Brin style, we had like the height and the width specified 200 pixels. So even if I'm like putting it down, if I'm like decreasing the size or the width of the browser itself, increasing it, it does not change the brinjal, like it does not change the size of the brinjal. It always remains constant at 100 pixels. So that you're looking at your phone, whether you're looking at a tablet or a TV, it will always remain the same size. It will remain as small as the size that you have specified it to be. But this is not something that you usually want, okay. When you're looking at a TV, you want the brinjal to be a little bit bigger. When you're looking at your phone, you wanted the brinjal to be a little bit smaller. So for that, you have absolute measurements. So instead of having the height as like 100 pixels, you can put it up as 10% of the width of the height of the screen, okay. That will be 10% of the height of the screen, and then the width as well as 10%. That will be width is 10%, width of the image is 10% with the width of the screen itself. For example, right now if I'm saving this and going back to my website, reloading the page, now if I try to make it smaller, it will become smaller along with the size of the screen. So for example, right over here, it becomes smaller. If I gradually increase if I'm just keeping the width the same and just decreasing the height, okay, so the width is working, but the height is actually not working. So it's not registering the entire thing. No issues in that. Okay, as you're able to see, as the width and the height of the screen increases and decreases, the width and height of the image also changes accordingly. Now this is a very important factor to consider, because when you're moving from your mobile device to your desktop, the website should look a bit different. It shouldn't look as if it was built for the mobile view itself. Everything is very small, very short. In mobiles as well, right now you are having smaller devices, you are having very large devices, so the consistency should be maintained. So for that reason itself, you are having this width and the height attribute. Now if I remove the width attribute from right over here, if I comment out the width attribute from brain, just having the height as 10% and then if I'm reloading the page, okay, so this entire website is like, this is the website, okay. So when I'm reducing the size of the website, the width of the height of the website remains the same. That is the reason why it is not changing along with the height of the website as well, because it is going the, this is called as the viewport. What you are able to see on your screen is called as your viewport, but the height is fixed. The height is fixed. If I'm even trying to shorten the website, the height still I'm able to scroll. So that is the height of the entire website. Now if I want to change the image, size of the image according to what I'm able to see on my screen, okay, that is called as the viewport. What you are able to see currently, that is the viewport. It is up till here where I am sitting. When I'm scrolling down, that becomes the height, okay. So viewport, if you want to change it according to viewport, then the measurement, the unit of measurement that you have to use would be the VH, okay, that is VH. Instead of percent, you will have to use VH. We'll be coming back to it. Right now I'm just explaining it to you. Okay, so if I'm changing it to 10 VH and saving it right over here, let's go back to our screen, reload the page. Now it is 10% of the viewport height. What is the viewport height? The image, the screen that you're currently able to see without any scrolling or anything like that is your viewport height. If I try to reduce the height of the website, the image also gets bigger and shorter, because the viewport is now decreasing and increasing, okay. Whatever you are able to view, that is called as the viewport. Now you are having viewport height and viewport width. Similarly, height and width is that of the entire website, okay. Are you guys able to understand the difference between viewport as well as between height and width? Are you guys able to understand the difference between viewport and height? Can we say responsive website pages are advanced concepts of this relative term? Yes, yes they are. Think about it. So for example, somebody is not able to understand. So Minashi is not able to understand, no issues in that. So when you are looking at a particular newspaper, let's look at a particular newspaper. If I put a banner at my head like this and I'll start looking at a particular position itself, I won't be able to see the entire newspaper. I will only be able to see a part of that newspaper. Now the part of the newspaper that I'm able to see like this, that will be called as your viewport, okay. Whereas the entire website will be called as your height and the width, okay. There's no difference between percentage and viewport, okay. Viewport is like, the difference would be between height and width and viewport, okay, that is the difference. Percentage is the unit of measurement. The VH and VW, we haven't learned about it. VH and VW will be compared to percentage, not percentage with viewport, okay. You will compare height and width with viewport. Viewport is a concept, not a unit of measurement. My mouth has become all dry. Okay, I need to complete this. Okay, so now what we are going to do is, so absolute measurements, the other absolute measurements that you can use is pixel, millimeters, inches and centimeters. These are all the absolute units of measurement that you can use, but you will usually use pixels itself. You won't use the other units of measurement. The second is, in relative, you are having percentage, EM, VW and VH. Now we are going to learn about EM, VW and VH. These are the three terms that we are going to learn about right now. We've learned about percentage, the rest three is not very common to us, so that is what we are going to learn. Okay, we'll start with VW and VH because that was what we were learning right now. So percentage basically helps you to moderate your size according to your height of the website and width of the website. So we have understood what is the height of the website and what is the width of the website. So think about the same thing but for viewport. So if you want to make the image move according to the height of the viewport or the width of the viewport, that is where you are going to use VH and VW. Now VH is the height of the viewport, okay. So according to the height, so if you are writing 1 VH, that is 1% of the viewport height, Okay, it's the same as 1%, but now instead of 1% of the height of the website, it is 1% of the height of the viewport. Okay, so you write 1 VH or 50 VH or 10 VH. Similarly, for viewport width, instead of writing 10%, you are writing 10% of viewport width. So you are writing 10 VW. Okay, you are writing 10 VW. Are you guys able to understand what is VW and VH? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand what is the difference? What is the VW and VH? Please let me know. Yeah, you can use height auto as well, but usually don't use it. You will have to put up some default values. Okay. Kumari Shivani Raj has not understood. Kumari, what have you not been to understand right over here? Please let me know so I can tell you according to that. Kumari, please let me know what you have not understood so that I'm able to guide you according to that. Okay, so there are 120 people. So I know that 20 of you haven't listened to what I was teaching. So I know 20 of you haven't figured it out. But what about the rest of you? What are you guys able to understand it? Please let me know. Okay, no issues in that. Then we'll proceed further. Now we need to understand about EM. Okay, so EM is relative to the font size of that element. So if I go back to my paragraph tag, okay, if I go back to my paragraph tag right over here. So where is the paragraph tag? Right over here. So this is the current paragraph tag, 29th April 2022. Right over here you are able to see 29th April 2022. Now if I change this to, let's say, EM is equals to 1, let's have another for paragraph tag right over here. One more thing, so whenever you are writing your CSS code, try to keep all the selectors that have tags with them together. Then try to keep all the selectors that are classes together, and then at the end try to keep all your IDs, because usually that is the hierarchy as well. Okay, IDs are, you will be using very few IDs, you will be using a little bit more of classes, and then the most that you will be using would be direct tags. So the hierarchy remains the same, and whenever you want to find something, it would be easier for you. Secondly, also try to keep it in a very ABCD manner, okay, alphabetical manner. So that will help you in the later stages to find your tags and find your IDs very easily. Okay, so we want to use the paragraph tag. So let's put it up right over here, paragraph tag, and we want to change the size. Okay, so can someone let me know? You can use Google for the same. Can someone let me know what is the CSS attribute that I have to write right over here to change the size of the current font? Okay, that is, I want to change the size of the paragraph tag. What is the attribute that I have to use? Can someone let me know? You can use Google for the same, no pressure. Okay, that is what I'm trying to inculcate right over here, the habit of using Google. Okay, so Hemant is very fast. Okay, font size, that's amazing, Hemant. So great, so you will be using font size. Okay, so font size, and we want to change the font size to, let's say, 1 EM. You'll be able to see that nothing changes because 1 EM is the current font size itself. So 1 times the current font size. So you will be able to see nothing changes on our screen. It remains the same. But when I change it to 2 EM, okay, that is 2 times the default font size. Okay, 2 times the default font size. So if I'm saving it right over here by 2 EM, reloading the page, you will be able to see that our paragraph tag is now 2 times the default font size. If I change it to 4, let's say 3 EM, it will be changed to 3 times the default font size. So it will be 3 times the default font size, and so on and so forth. So EM is basically used while you are dealing with text. to change the font size of those elements, you can use pixel, you can use em based on whatever is comfortable to you. If you just want to double the font size, you don't know what exact font size is, or if you want to make it like a bit larger, you can use 1.5, you can use 2, you can use 1.18 or something like that. That is how you can change the em as well if you don't have the exact font size of the paragraph tag. Okay, are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. So can we give em to images? Let's take that as a question. Okay, let's take that as a question. I want you guys to find out whether you can put up em to images, and I don't want you to use Google for it. I don't want you to use Google for it. You take a particular code sandbox, you put up an image right over there, and try changing the size of the image, the height and the width according to the em. Let's see what happens. Okay, I will be asking you tomorrow what happened. Okay, so you have to be ready with the answer as well. Okay, great, amazing. And don't put up the answers right over here. Like, let's wait for everyone to figure it out today. We'll discuss it tomorrow as well. Okay, okay, amazing. Okay, so let us see if there is anything else that is remaining. So I think so this is something that you guys will be familiar with. 1 pixel is approximately 1 by 96th of an inch. 1 inch is 2.54 centimeter. Okay, or 96 pixels. This 1 centimeter and then millimeter. These are your absolute units. So no need to discuss that. I think so you will be very able to understand it very clearly. Okay. Okay. So everybody take a screenshot of this particular page. Okay, take a screenshot for this particular page immediately. Guys, take a screenshot for this particular page immediately. Have you guys taken up a screenshot for this particular page? Please let me know. Okay, so this is a very small assignment that I'm giving you right now. Very small assignment. Okay, what you have to do is the current page that I showed you right now, you have to replicate that particular page on the right hand side. Okay, when you will be putting up your h1, the image and the paragraph tag, it will look something like this. I want you to convert it into like a red h1 tag. The image should have some kind of border radius. Are you able to see this border radius right over here? It's not very sharp, so as you're able to see right over here, the image is very sharp right over here. This image is not that sharp, it's having rounded edges as well. So I want you to put rounded edges right over here, and then instead of having like the default paragraph tag, see the paragraph tag is on the left hand side. The paragraph tag as well as the h1 tag and the image is on the left hand side of the website. I want you to put everything, the paragraph tag, the image as well as the text, the h1 tag, to the center. This is what I want you to do today at a code sandbox. Tomorrow I will be asking for this code sandbox. Like, I will be asking it in the live link. I will be checking it up. You can use any text, you can use any image, whatever you like. You can use the same image as well. But this is what I am expecting from you. For tomorrow as well, I have designed a particular thing for you. But for today, I will keep it as simple as possible. A very simple thing that I'm giving it to you to test whether you are able to get comfortable with CSS or not. Okay, I expect that at least I'll be able to get 20-30 code sandbox links tomorrow. Okay, it's a very easy task. I'm not giving anything complicated. So will you guys be able to do it? Please let me know. Will you guys be able to do it? Please let me know. See, I'm not making this compulsory. This won't affect your certificate. This won't affect your attendance. But you are here for learning. These certificates, no certificate in this entire world matter anything if you're not getting enough knowledge from that certificate. Those certificates are just that, okay, I know this particular language. You can ask me anything that you want. That's it. That's the only use of a certificate. And in tech, you have to practice. Without practice, you won't be able to understand anything. Like I said, This is not something that is going to affect your attendance. This is not something that is going to affect your certificates. But tomorrow I will be asking you to submit your form links here on the live chat, and I will be going through them. Okay, so that I will be able to see that, okay, how many of you are actually doing it. Okay. You don't have to make the arrow. So these are two different like web pages that I showed you. You have to make on the right hand side. The image on the right hand side, that is what you have to make. Okay, are you planning to conduct a bootcamp on Tailwind CSS? Vijay, the next bootcamp is on React, but after that, if you want, we can have one bootcamp on Tailwind CSS as well. But to understand Tailwind CSS, you first have to understand Bootstrap CSS. We'll first have to have a bootcamp on Bootstrap CSS, and then we'll be having a bootcamp on Tailwind CSS. If you guys are interested in that. No, only the one on the right hand side. Let me just show it to you again. Only this particular website. Okay, the one on the right hand side you have to replicate. The one on the left hand side is the default. Okay, whenever you will be having an h1 tag, an image, and the paragraph tag, it will look like that. You want to convert that default things to the one on the right hand side. That is the task that I'm giving you. Are you guys able to understand? Please let me know. You can take up any image as that you want. Okay, there's no issues with that. Meenakshi, again, I'm trying to make you guys understand. Okay, when you start making the project, you will have an h1 tag, the image tag, and the paragraph tag. So it would look like the image. Just look at the image on the left hand side itself. Do not look at the image on the right hand side. That is how your website would look like. Now you want to convert. You want to add CSS to it to convert this bland looking website to the new website. You don't. These are two different websites. It's like before and after picture. Okay, when a fat person loses weight, he puts on a before and after picture. It's the same as that. A very bad looking website on the left hand side, and then a beautified version of it on the right hand side. Okay. Oof. Okay. So I've given you a very simple thing. I think so that shouldn't be that difficult for you. I hope that won't be as difficult for you. Okay. 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 So the second thing is so yesterday some of you showed interest into joining our training and internship program. For them, there's one Google form that is there. So please fill out this Google form if you guys want to join the training and internship program. One of our representatives or mentors will reach out to you depending upon what you like. Have questions in your mind as well. I've put up the link to the Google form in the chat. Okay, in the live chat. Do fill it up. If you still have any questions, somebody will be calling you and you can have a chat with them. If you still are not able to understand it, just like you can approach me as well. Okay. Code with Akhil, we discussed about it. So the entire training will be of 3 months long. Okay, 3.5 months long. The classes will be live every day on Zoom for 2 hours, then 2 hours of live doubt sessions every single day, 5 to 6 days a week. And the cost for the same is like the pre-registration cost is 1,000 just to confirm your seat, and then you can pay monthly. The total cost will be around 8 to 9,000 for the entire program. So you can pay it monthly as well. You don't need to pay it at once. So that is how we run the program. Can you tell us the date about conducting the React bootcamp? I think so that is going to start from the 13th of May. If I'm not wrong, the registrations have already begun. The details have been sent to all the WhatsApp groups according to me today morning. The bootcamp of JavaScript and React.js will be starting from 13th of March. I think so if you guys haven't received the information, you can go to our website devtown.in. It should be right over there as well. Yeah, you can register yourself from right over here. So making an Amazon clone using React.js, we'll be learning JavaScript as well as React.js in this bootcamp. Okay, so you can register yourself from the website from events section. We have already put up right over here. Okay. Okay, so I'll show you the attendance link again. Those who are interested to join the training and internship program, it also comes with placement support and everything, because that is the aim of the entire program at the end of the day. Okay, we have programs in data science, full stack, cybersecurity, and cloud computing. So that is also something that is there. You can just fill up the attendance link, and sorry, this is the link for the program. We will get the demo class for the full stack program. So Kashvi, it's the same as the any class that goes on Zoom, like a normal Zoom class itself. So that is the thing. If you have not done pre-registration, no issues in that. Okay, someone will be contacting you to help you out throughout the process. You don't have to worry about that. Okay. C++, yes. So Guru Prasad, you don't have to worry. So in the program as well, we have first of all CSS, then you have DSA in CSS, you have C++, then DSA in C++, and then you are having your competitive programming. So you don't have to worry about that as well. Okay, so the attendance link I'll show you right now on my screen. So this is today's attendance link. I'll just zoom in a bit so that you guys are able to see the attendance link as well. If you guys have any questions, any queries, do let me know. We'll handle that. And up till then, we'll meet tomorrow. Okay? Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.